in a Thai fusion restaurant in Portland. Our car broke down, so we're kind of cranky. But
Yo, Joefer here, the Cranky Old Gay Guy. Today, I spent some time sitting in my car, and I recorded today's episode. I have sat down and replayed that episode, and I will not be posting it as I was very cranky. And it comes across as super negative. And why? It comes across as negative because when I got up this morning, I opened my phone and I read the news and the latest headlines. And then I followed up by searching for the videos that went along with those headlines. And I was appalled with what's happening at the highest seat of our country. Sure, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. But I'm choosing not to talk about that individual in this podcast. Okay. On other news that gets me cranky. My car, I was coming from the doctor today, and my car started riding really rough, and I thought it was the road. Well, I parked, went in somewhere, and I turned it off. But when I came back, I sat in my car for a minute, and it was cold, so I turned it on so the heat would come on. And after about 3 or 4 minutes, it started rumbling, and it sounded like my engine was jumping around. So I opened the hood, and it is super loud. And it sounds to me like a broken rocker arm, or one of the spark plugs just isn't firing at all, or one of the cylinders it's frozen. I don't know. But it's a 4-cylinder car. It's throwing everything off. The whole thing was, I got no power. I can still drive, but it's not healthy. I'm going to damage it. So I drove it home, past my house, and I went to a repair shop about 4 or 5 blocks from here and talked to them and got their opinion. They haven't done a diagnosis yet. I ran my own diagnosis. I have a little thing you put in the little plug under your dash. And it said that it was a misfire in the cylinder, but I have a 2008 Prius, and that misfire is an ongoing issue. And I've had it fixed twice and had things removed and replaced. And that Toyota technician told me that that's very common, like years 2005 through 2008. So that's probably what's going to happen again, which means it's going to cost me money. And that right there makes me cranky. So instead of dwelling on that, I will tell you, what can I tell you that's positive? Boy. I'm cooking rice right now. That's impressive, isn't it? A 62-year-old man who knows how to cook rice. Well, don't get too excited because it's in a rice cooker. I did grill some tofu the other day on a George Foreman grill. And even though it was well greased, it still stuck and tore up. But I was making a sweet teriyaki sauce, but I didn't have any marin, which is a sweet wine. So I was using cooking sherry and honey, because it was supposed to be a honey sesame tofu. Someone gave me some recently, and it was delicious. They bought it at a restaurant, and it had the grill marks on it and the sesame seeds, and it was really, really good. So that's what I'm trying to duplicate. My sauce isn't nearly as tasty, and I don't have any sesame seeds. But I will eat my rice and my tofu and my broccoli and carrots on the side, but maybe some peppers too, because I've got a bag of those in the fridge. And that's dinner tonight, and that's my positivity for you. While we're talking, let's cover White Lotus for a moment, shall we? I don't know how many of you are watching it, but the last couple episodes have been pretty disappointing in that nothing has happened. I mean, the most wild things in this one is that one of the 3 late 30s, early 40s women, I think they're probably maybe early 40s. Anyway, they're at this resort, And they went out and wanted to party like they were college girls again. And one of them takes her top off. Woo! Super exciting. Now, the three guys that they're partying with all have great bodies, so that's not a bad thing. And one of them stripped down. And then in a later scene, one of them that didn't strip down strips down in someone's room, and we do get to see his backside. So that's enticing. Let's see. The two brothers of the douchey family, the older douche brother and then his nerdy high school senior brother, go partying on a yacht with two women. I don't know how to describe them. I mean, they're both being supported by sugar daddies. One of them, I think, her background is fashion model, but I think it's fashion model hooker. But I'm not sure. That's just the impression I get. The other one, I don't even know where they met. She is the actress from the Netflix series Sex Education. She's the one who played the naive girl who was super sexual and always being used by men or being sexualized by men. So I don't know where her character met the scuzzy guy, that sugar daddy that she's with, but these two girls go partying with the douche guy and his little brother. And after some heavy partying, the girls kiss each other, and, then they tell the boys to do it, and the boys do. Now, it's not a hot kiss or anything, but it's two brothers kissing on the lips, like, prolonged. So those are really the only interesting things I think that White Lotus held in this episode. I'm not going to do a full review of this series because, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. It's one of those things, especially the first season. If you've never seen it, pull it up, binge watch it. You'll enjoy it. Second season was kind of slow to get started as well. The characters were even more, I'm going to say douchey again, or more douchey than the ones in the first one. The whole thing takes place on these takes place at super expensive resorts, these fictitious resorts called the White Lotus. So the people that are staying there are depicted as douchey, rich, douchey people. And, every season, that's what they are. Kind of just oblivious to people who don't have money, and they look down on them, or they don't see them at all because they don't have money. There was also on this last episode, Sam Waterston. Sam Waterston? Is that his name? Not Sam Waterston. It's the guy who played the Lawnmower Man that's a movie from years and years ago. Sam Rockwell. That's his name, Sam Rockwell. He has a conversation with the scuzzy sugar daddy guy. Evidently, they know each other. And it starts out innocently enough. And then he tells him that he's found religion, and the guy wants to know about it. So he starts talking to him, and he goes into all this detail about how he's actually a Japanese girl inside, or an Asian girl inside, and now he dresses up with girl clothes and makeup, and he has guys come over and have him. Sometimes he pays to have these guys come over and have him, while he hires an Asian girl to sit there in the room and watch it happen. And that way he says that he can feel as if he's having an Asian woman as well as being the Asian woman. And this was how he overcame alcohol. I don't write the script. I'm just telling you what happened. And on that note, which note is that? That's a high C. Oh, I think that's a high C. I'm going to let you all go, and I'll try to have something positive for you tomorrow. Okay? So take care, everybody, and I will see you then, providing the world doesn't end before then. So, like me, stay cranky. Bye-bye.
In a Thai fusion restaurant in Portland, our car broke down, so we're kind of cranky. but not so much we can't talk about how good the White Lotus was. First season was great, second was kinda slow, but the third season could be amazing, or maybe just okay. Now it's raining, we gotta walk a long way to get back to our car, but that's okay. We love walking in the rain, that's why we live here. In a Thai fusion restaurant in Portland, our car broke down, so we're kinda cranky, but not so much we can't talk about how good the White Lotus was. First season was great, second was kinda slow, but the third season could be amazing, or maybe just okay. Now it's raining, we gotta walk a long way to get back to our car, but that's okay. We love walking in the rain, that's why we live here.